Alright you guys, so today's video is going to be about marriage and sex. This is honestly a video that I wasn't sure I was ever going to film. I've been thinking a lot lately about what kind of videos I want to share with my audience. Which ones are really going to be the most meaningful and that I think a lot of moms, especially first-time moms, want to hear. And this is one of those. Like, this is definitely the kind of topic that I don't think we talk about enough. I was going to shoot this video in my studio, but I decided that I wanted it to be a little bit more casual, a little bit more just like if I'm chit-chatting with any of my girlfriends. So I'm here in my family room on the couch. Riley's toys are everywhere, everything's a mess, and I know that the lighting is going to be going in and out, but you don't even need to be looking at my face in order to hear what I'm going to say. So in today's video, basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about 3 big ways that my marriage has changed ever since becoming a mom. If you guys are new here, first of all, my name is Kayla. I am 28 years old. I've been married now for 3 years. Our baby girl just turned 1, and I've basically been documenting our first year as parents here on this channel. So if you guys are new here, if you enjoy that kind of like motherhood and lifestyle content, if you like daily vlogs and just like seeing what we do as new parents, me just figuring out how to be a somewhat decent mom and keep my baby alive, then I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. And regardless of whether you're new or not new, if you want to see more of these like more personal kind of videos, and if you want to see more conversations around the idea of like marriage and sex and things like that, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up so that I know to make more of those videos for you guys. All right, so let's just jump right into it, and I'm sure that as I go I will decide to kind of throw in extra stuff. But the 3 biggest ways that my marriage has changed since becoming a mom. So the first one is honestly that I'm a lot less clingy, and I don't know why that's so weird for me. I don't know, there's gonna be a lot of rambling in this video, so just like bear with me. But I have always been a very clingy person. I don't exactly know why that is. Just so you guys have a reference, my background is Cuban, so I've got a bit of that Latin flair, I guess. I'm not making just generalizations, but I've always been a very clingy, fiery, passionate kind of person. Whenever I've been in a relationship with anyone, I've always wanted to be with them 24/7. I've just been a clinger. I don't know what else to say. You know, I definitely was that person. Like even early on in our relationship, like when I was first dating Joe, like if he wouldn't call me after a certain amount of time, I'd be calling him like, why haven't you called me? Or if there was like a weekend where he had something else to do on a Friday night and he wasn't going to be hanging out with me, I would see like that would be a very big problem. And I feel like with age also, I definitely matured, and as time has gone by, I haven't been as clingy, but it's just part of my personality. Whenever I'm with someone in a relationship, obviously Joe is the only relationship that I'm in now, but I have always really wanted to be around him. Even before we had Riley, like I always wanted to watch TV with him at the end of the day. Like I always wanted to spend hours just like sitting on the couch watching Netflix. We could like binge watch shows like all day long. And I feel like that definitely changed once I became a mom. I need more space, and it doesn't mean that I don't love my husband. I love him just as much, if not more, than I ever have in my entire life. Like straight up, like I adore him. But I need more space after being with Riley all day long, because I am a stay-at-home mom and I stay home with Riley. I need a break. I need a break, and not just from her sometimes, even like it's also like from him. So there are times where it's been a little bit challenging because he comes home from work and maybe he does want to just like relax and hang out with me, and I'm kind of like I love you, but I just want to go sit in my room and read a book and do nothing. And I think that that is something that just happens when you're constantly around someone all day long. Like I said, I'm with Riley 24/7. So the minute that she goes and she's down for a nap, I want to disconnect from everyone and everything. And I think that's normal. I think it's normal to want a little bit more independence, because the minute that you become a mom, like you are no longer like an independent person. I know there's like sirens and stuff in the background, but yeah, I think that it's a normal thing. I think it happens, you're no longer able to just have a bunch of time to yourself. So the minute that you do get those opportunities, sometimes your partner is going to want to hang out with you or be with you. And I think it's normal and okay to say, look, we'll spend some times together, but other times like I need my own space. I need to go take a bubble bath. I need to go do yoga. And I've been doing all of those things lately because I have noticed I just need more me time. It's not a knock on our relationship. It's not a knock on him. Like I said, I love him just as much, if not more, but I need more time for myself. So if any of you mamas are watching this and you feel the same way, let me know down below in the comments. Now, before I get into the second way that my marriage has changed since becoming a mom, along those same lines, I don't want to talk about the same subject because I have a whole entire video on what I talk about as being like postpartum resentment and how that feeling, like the feelings that I felt, especially very early on in becoming a new mom towards my husband, like the fact that I resented, you know, him being able to go cut his hair and I was stuck at home with a baby. Like, I talk about all of that in that video, so I'm gonna link it down below. I know a lot of people have seen that video and have had a lot to say about it, so I think that before you continue watching this video or after this video, I think it's a good video to go watch, because I think it does talk a lot about relationships and how it's very normal to feel a little bit of resentment towards your husband because, like, I don't know, like, it's just normal and it's something that a lot of us go through. All right, so the second way that my marriage has really changed that I have noticed is that I have a much shorter fuse. Like, I straight up just have less patience. I get ticked off very easily and I'm very quick to snap at Joe, and God bless him, like, he's dealt with it pretty well. And I know that, like, we both need to work on, like, just communicating better and me trying to not snap at him as much. But I just want to share, like, why that happens and express what I've been going through, because again, like, I know I can't be the only one, but I'm, like I said before, I'm with Riley all day long. I love her, best thing that's ever happened to me, but I'm dealing with a screechy, crying baby who's clawing at me, who's throwing things across the room, who's picking up food from the floor and putting it in her mouth, and I'm chasing after her going, what the hell did you put in your mouth? Like, that's my day. That is my day. So sometimes when Joe walks through the door and he's been working all day long and he wants to come home to a happy, smiling wife who, you know, is ready to relax and have a good time, like, that's not me all the time. Like, I am just exhausted. I am drained. I am tired. And so when he then asks me questions like, oh, like, why are you in such a bad mood? I snap at him sometimes because I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Why am I in a bad mood? Maybe because I was trying to use the bathroom and Riley was getting into the toilet paper and she made a mess, or maybe I was trying to cook myself lunch and I couldn't because my child was screeching, or she was getting into like all of the DVDs and stuff. Like, there are a million reasons why maybe I'm not perfectly happy and okay in that moment, and so I am very quick to snap. And it's not because I don't love him. I love him, but my fuse is a lot shorter. So there are questions and there are things that set me off a lot easier than before I had a tiny human that I was taking care of all day. Like I said, I know that I need to work on it. Obviously, there are ways that I can try to control my temper or to be a little bit more patient, but I think it is 100% normal to be a little bit less patient with your partner, with people in general, after you become a mom. Like, this girl that I follow on Instagram, the other day, somebody asked her, how do you prepare for motherhood? Like, what are your top tips for preparing for motherhood in, like, both, like, different areas of life, like financially, emotionally? Like, how do you prepare for motherhood? And now that I have been a mom for a year, first of all, like, she also said, like, I don't think you ever fully prepare for being a mom, but emotionally there are so many things that happen and that change and that you're dealing with once you become a mom, that until you're there, like, you're never really going to be able to wrap your head around. But the problem that I see is that there are all these things that we're experiencing and we're not talking about them in a very real, honest way most of the time. Like, we see on Instagram, we see these pictures of people looking perfect and happy, and, like, nobody wants to go and say, like, oh, like, my husband and I had a fight today, and, like, hey, I screamed at my child. Like, I understand that those are not attractive things to say, but sometimes, like, that's the truth. Like, the truth is that I lose my shit a lot, and I feel like if we had more of those conversations and we put that out there more, that people would feel that their lives are okay and their lives are normal. Because I think what happens is we think, oh, everybody else's marriage is great and everybody else is doing fine, so obviously I'm a terrible wife, or obviously I'm a terrible mom, or obviously my marriage is going to crap because I don't have sex with my husband 3 times a week. And those are the kinds of things that I want to kind of put out there and talk about, so that you guys don't feel like your life is going to shit, because we're all dealing with the same kind of things. And I think that there are a lot of things that are more normal than you think they really are. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you're still here, thank you. And so I think that kind of goes into point number 3 that I wanted to make in today's video, which is the fact that I am a lot more tired. I am more tired than I have ever been in my entire life. And yes, that affects my marriage in a way, because I don't have energy for anything. I need a lot more help to get things done around the house. And so that's probably one of the biggest areas where I have struggled as being a new mom. The fact that I am so tired and I am so overwhelmed, and there's sometimes like a breakdown where I don't communicate that with Joe. Joe is like an angel. Like, I could not have picked a better husband. He cooks, he cleans, he does laundry. He's also military, so he was in the Coast Guard for many years. So like, they taught him how to make the bed. He does the freaking hospital corners. Like, he's the one that takes care of all the stuff in the house. He's the one who's super OCD about everything. He's the one who's a neat freak. I could just be a mess my entire life, because that's just how I am. That's my nature. So he definitely helps out around the house. He's not the kind of guy that just comes home and sits there and expects that I'm gonna be serving him food. Like, that's not him. But even as great as he is, there are still times where I need more, where I need to tell him, like, no, I need you to watch Riley for me for 5 minutes, or I need you to help me with Riley. I need you to feed her dinner, or I need you to give her a bath, or you know what, today I need you to feed her and give her a bath because I am tired. And so sometimes I've struggled with communicating that fact and communicating that I am tired and that I do need help. And then talking about like being exhausted, it is okay to be exhausted, and it is okay that because you are so exhausted that you don't feel like being intimate and having sex like 5 days a week. That is okay. For people who can find a way to have sex 3, 5 times a week, 7 days a week, like, you do you. That is amazing. Like, congratulations. Like, that is an achievement. And if both parties are on board with that, that is fantastic. Like, I am not knocking that whatsoever. But I think it's a little bit unrealistic, in my opinion, to expect that your sex life is gonna be just as juicy and spicy as it was before you had a baby. At least that has been my experience. I love my husband just as much, but I think it's okay for you as a new mom to be like, I am not about that tonight. Like, I am sorry, I am tired, because there is so much that you are doing. And I just feel like it's just so weird, because I never thought that I would be the one to say that. Like, I would hear, you know, people talk about how you have less sex after you have a baby, and I'd be like, oh, that's never gonna be me. Like, and I never understood that until I became a mom. But I think that what is important to understand about all of that is that it is okay. Like, it doesn't mean that you love your husband any less. It does not mean that your husband loves you any less. Like, I feel like the media makes it seem like if you are not constantly having sex, it means that you do not like somebody. You know, I watch Erin Williams all the time, and I love her. I am not throwing any shade at all, but I think in one of her marriage Q&As, she said, you know, how frequently her and her husband were having sex, and it was a lot for a lot of people. And so I remember reading the comments, and a lot of people in the comments were like, oh my God, I wish. And I remember coming across a comment where it was kind of like, you know, my husband isn't into sex that often, and like, this woman was feeling bad about herself. She was feeling like her husband wasn't into her, or like there was something wrong in their relationship because they weren't going to town like 3 times a week. And I don't think that that's necessarily the best thing for us to be doing. Like, the media makes it seem like if a guy is not trying to hump you all the time, that the guy is either gay or doesn't like you, or, you know, it's just not that into you. And I want to tell you, at least from my personal experience, from being around and dating different guys and having conversations with men, at least, again, my experience, that's not always the case. And like, maybe if you're like 18 years old and you have like nothing else to do and no other responsibilities and no other worries, like maybe you want to be having sex all the time. Maybe that is the only thing that you enjoy doing. But I feel like as you get older and as you mature and as life gets busy and as you get tired and you're dealing with families and stress and money and work and issues, like, that's real life. And it's okay that you're not necessarily having sex like every single day. Doesn't mean your relationship is bad. Doesn't mean your relationship isn't healthy. I think as long as both parties are on the same page with, you know, you're getting what you need out of a relationship, like that's what like a happy, healthy marriage is all about. Communicating your needs, the other person communicating their needs, and then you guys kind of figuring out what works for the both of you. I think that's it. So again, I could probably sit here and talk forever about this kind of stuff because I think that it's important and I think we need to talk about it more. That's really all I wanted to say for today's video. So if you did enjoy it, if you got something out of it, if there's something you feel you want to share or any questions you want me to talk about in the future, leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm hoping that I do put this video out because I feel like it was important to share, but thank you guys always for all of the support, for all of your love. Having this community has helped me so much as a first-time mom, dealing with all the craziness that comes with motherhood. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.